With our particular clients, there's been no real new demand. We're working with them the same way we did prior to the pandemic. The thing that's kind of coming up now is reassurance. And I think people want that kind of confidence in us.
Hello everybody, my name's Cameron Roberts. I'm the digital and community editor here at Conference News, and welcome back to another CN Meets. I'm joined by Mikey Pavlou, who is the business development specialist at B2 Live Events. We're going to chat a little bit about organising live events in the wake of the pandemic. Mikey's very recently joined kind of the organisational side of things, so it'd be interesting to hear what he's feeling about things and what his client demands are. So how are you doing today, Mikey?
Yeah, very good, Cameron. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. All good.
Good,
I guess diving straight into it, really. As I said, you've joined the kind of organisational side at an interesting time, let's say. No one's really sure what organisation of events looks like going forward in the wake of the pandemic. But I guess from your perspective, what are the major challenges been in kind of this period?
So personally, one of the major challenges is starting a new role in the production field in business development, where there's not really any room for development because everyone's kind of taken their foot off the gas. So it's been kind of a learning experience to try and figure out how to reach out to clients sensitively and to build relationships, knowing that we're kind of in this stalemate at the moment. And professionally, well, obviously, last year was completely kind of quiet. Everything kind of got retconned and started from scratch. So it's been challenging trying to get our kind of feet back on the ground and finding our rhythm, but it's starting to pick up now. The past few months have really started to see an increase in kind of bookings and interest, which has been very good for us actually, and it's good for me too, which is nice. So yeah, it's been a tricky road to traverse, but we're certainly coming out of that dark tunnel now for sure.
Good to hear. We'll obviously touch upon what the future looks like for B2 in a moment. But I guess you mentioned you're getting a few more bookings in, which is always good to hear in the event industry. I mean, what sort of things are you seeing booked? Because obviously you do quite a variety of events. I mean, are you seeing like really large conferences? Is it kind of smaller meetings that you're setting up? What's the patterns there?
It's a mix really. So at B2, we're quite diverse anyway. We like to keep the projects we work on varied, simply because we've got our own warehouse and such. So we build everything from scratch and bespoke. So really what we can work on is whatever a client needs. So we're doing a lot of experiential stuff at the moment. We've got a few activations that we're working on with people I can't mention, but you will see like there'll be some pop-ups around London, Birmingham and Liverpool specifically that are going to be more experiential campaigns that are coming out. Working on a few different exhibition quotes at the moment. So, your standard kind of shell scheme, maybe some B matrix stuff. And yeah, keeping it diverse. So they're still coming in, which is good. And there's no specific kind of path that we're focused on, which is good. It is good. It means that every sector seems to be coming back to life a bit, which is quite nice to see.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, I think I'm hearing from a lot of people I'm talking to that, things are picking up again, which is good to hear. Yeah. I mean, I guess you say there's not a pattern in the type of event that you're booking, but are there any similarities in what kind of new client demands that you've got, either specifically related to COVID or maybe that have changed over the last few months?
Sure. So this is one that I want to kind of comment on from our perspective, because, with our particular clients, there's been no real new demand. We're working with them the same way we did prior to the pandemic. The thing that's kind of coming up now is reassurance. And I think people want that kind of confidence in us and kind of being able to realize that there's no, if they need to like sit back and think about a project, if they're worried that it might get cancelled, if they're worried that they won't get the funding, we give them a chance to go, okay, look, take your time, have a think. There's no commitment until you put pen to paper. And we're very upfront about that we're not going to constantly badger them saying, okay, we need an answer now. We need our money, We're not those type of people. Every client we work with has the opportunity to say, actually, we need a bit of time to think about this. We say, that's absolutely fine. We'll need a sign off either way by this date. Up until then, whatever you think is best. So it's trying to instill that confidence, that kind of lack of pressure, that even though we are coming out of it, there are still difficulties, and we want to respect that and understand that everyone's going to have their kind of worries and concerns, and we're just here to help you when you need it. And if it turns out that something we were working on isn't going to happen, absolutely fine. I'm sure we'll pick it up again at a later date.
Yeah, and you mentioned there, just kind of rounding things out, I guess, you mentioned that, things are picking up and that there's a little bit of reassurance to be done, but mostly things are moving in a positive direction. So, I mean, what does the recovery look like for B2 specifically? So is it you want to be doing larger events? Is it, you want to do a specific, you want to do exhibitions, you want to do conferences? I mean, what's that recovery look like for you guys?
So we're actually in a good position. A lot of we're kind of backlogged now until the back end of October, which is good. We're pretty flat out. And I'm now looking to the future for November, December, January, because we kind of get a little bit more quiet. So I'm looking to see what's going on. Obviously, Christmas is coming up, and last year we didn't have our big Christmas event, Winter Wonderland and all of that. So hopefully they're going to kind of come back in full swing, as well as new ones popping up with people trying to pretty much capitalize on the fact that we didn't have it last year. I'm kind of hoping that it's going to be a bigger boom. So that's where my head's at the moment. Luckily for B2, we didn't actually lose any staff during the pandemic. So we were fortunate that when we all kind of came back, obviously I'm new, but when the team came back, everyone was still here, all the familiar faces were still around. And we're in a position now where we're actually looking to employ people because work is coming in so thick and fast. So the team is looking to grow. So for us, yeah, so far, touch wood, we're looking good. Yeah.
Good. A nice positive note to end on. Yeah. That is actually all the time myself and Mikey have today. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Cameron. Pleasure.
And for all of you out there, you can obviously access conferencenews.com for any other CN meets that you might want to watch. But until then, I'll see you all next time.